Council Student Chapters DIMSU MLUC. Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Mindanao State University, General Santos City. PSME Camarines Sur Polytechnic Colleges Student Unit. Global Institute for Youth Development, La Union. Pen and Scroll Guild, DIMSU MLUC. Senior Information Technology Enthusiast, DIMSU MLUC. Association of Fashion Textile Technology Student, DIMSU MLUC. PSME Nueva Ecija University of Science and Technology Student Unit. College of Arts and Sciences, Municipal Body Organization, Psychology, DIMSU MLUC. PSME Student Unit Western Philippine University Chapter. And lastly, we have Samahan ng mga mag-aaral sa Filipino Organization, DIMSU MLUC. And now we're moving on to our participating schools here in Luzon. So we have, so guys, mag-ingay lang kayo. Meron palang nagpapa-shoutout sa, na nabasa ko kanina sa ating chat box. Shoutout daw sa mga single. So we have Bataan Peninsula State University Main Campus. Batangas State University. Batangas State University. Nicol State College of Applied Sciences and Technology. Nicol University. Bulacan State University. Camarines Norte State College. Camarines Sur Polytechnic Colleges. De La Salle University, Dasmariñas. Don Honorio Ventura State University. Nakakatuwa naman yung ating mga shoutouts sa chat box. So we have Kuya Ruz de la Cruz, shoutout sa Pinuyat pero di naman naging sila. Ang lala naman. So moving on, we have Emilio Aguinaldo College, Cavite Campus. Golden Gates Colleges. Holy Angel University. Laguna State Polytechnic University, Santa Cruz Campus. Lyceum of the Philippines University, Cavite Campus. Lyceum of the Philippines University, Batangas Campus. Malayan Colleges, Laguna. Manuel S. N. Varga University Foundation. Mariano Marcos State University. Nueva Ecija University of Science and Technology. Palawan State University. Pangasinan State University or Urdaneta City Campus. Pinma University of Pangasinan. Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Alfonso Campus. Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Maragondon Campus. Romblon State University. St. Louis University. Sorsogon State University Main Campus. Southern Luzon State University. Tarlac State University. Technological University of the Philippines, Cavite. University of Batangas. University of Nueva Cáceres. University of Perpetual Health System, Honal Tabinyan Campus. University of Rizal System. Smith International School. For NCR, we have Adamson University. Colegio de Muntinlupa, 𝐏𝐡𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐩𝐢𝐃 Institute of Science and Technology, National University, Manila, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Manila, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Taguig, Technological Institute of the Philippines, Quezon City, Technological Institute of the Philippines, Manila City, Technological University of the Philippines, Taguig, University of Perpetual Health System, Delta Calamba Campus, University of the East, Manila, University of Santo Tomas. Okay, from Visayas we have Capiz State University Main Campus, Central Philippines University, Cebu Technological University Danao Chapter, Central Philippines State University, Eastern Visayas State University or Moc City Campus, Iloilo Science and Technology University Main Campus, Negros Oriental State University, Liman University, STI West Negros University, Colampon Institute of Technology, University of Antique Main Campus, University of Cebu Lapu-Lapu and Mandaue, University of San Carlos Talamban Campus, University of San Jose Recoletos, Visayas State University, Western Institute of Technology, Western Philippines University. Okay, from Mindanao we have Ateneo de Davao University, Central Mindanao University, Green Valley College Foundation Incorporated, Malayan Colleges, Mindanao, Mindanao State University, Marawi Main Campus, Mindanao Aeronautical Technical School, University of Mindanao Main Campus, University of Southeastern Philippines, Western Mindanao State University, Xavier University, and the host school, of course, Don Mariano Marcos Memorial State University, La Union Campus. And for our participants na hindi natawag ang kanilang schools, you may drop your school name in the chat box and magkakaroon tayo ng shout out. Okay, let me introduce myself, guys. I am Joel Christian Viernes, Vice President of Internal Affairs of the PSME DMMMSU MLUC SU, your Master of Ceremony for today's webinar. And now, bago tayo dumako sa next part, magkakaroon muna tayo ng shoutout session sa ating chat box. So guys, mag-ingay. So, hello po Kuya Nazar from DMMMSU MLUC. Kanina pa po kita napapansin. Thank you. Buo ng araw ko dahil sa sinabi mo, Kuya. And now, so, we have Kuya Peter. Shout out daw kay Kuya Patrick Henry Reyes. And also, sabi ni Kuya Scott, shout out sa mga nagpapa-shout out dyan. Mabuhay kayo hanggang gusto nyo. So, we have Kuya Warren from Bohol Island State University Main Campus. So we also have Kuya Stephen from Bohol Island State University Main Campus, Tagbiliran City. So, ang active naman ng ating mga participants from Bohol Island State University. So we have Kuya Tahir from Dawood University of Engineering and Technology. And also shout out daw sa lahat ng COE and VSU. Pambang Campus, especially kay Cedric Ainon at from Ate Joanne Biag. Sabi ni Kuya Joseph, salamat po sa free webinar. Welcome po, Kuya. And also we have Kuya Chester from Bohol Island State University Main Campus. And from Kuya John, pa-shout out po kay Kuya Ian Albert. So, nakakatuwa naman ng ating participants which are 576 ngayon sa ating Zoom meeting are very active, and I do hope na active pa rin kayo hanggang sa latter part ng webinar. So bago tayo tumako, sasabihin ko lang ulit kasi siguro hindi na rinig ng ibang tao, ng ibang participants. So mamaya is magkakaroon tayo ng raffle draws. So I do hope na mag-stay tuned lang kayo, baka kayo yung mananalo. So let's proceed. So to our opening remarks led by our president from the PSME DMMMSU MLUC Student Unit Organization, Mr. John Abel Ardelizo.
Ayan, so thank you, Joel. And first of all, I would like to greet you a pleasant afternoon. So to our honorable speaker, Engineer Jubel B. Malaygay, our dear advisor, Engineer Thelma T. Ubilio, presidents, officers, members, and instructors of the different participating schools, our members and professors from our beloved university, DMMMSU MLUC, our hardworking PSME student unit officers and volunteers, to our guests and participants, thank you so much for lending some of your time to be here today and to be with us in this webinar. So it is my honor to open and welcome you in this webinar entitled Comprehensive Safety and Health for the General Industry. I strongly hope that this webinar will provide us a great deal of information about the topic that will help us, or that will equip us in our future endeavors, in our future careers. So our presence today just goes to show that we really have the eagerness to learn more about the safety and health and to understand it further, as it is really important. We are really thrilled by the amount of support that we are getting from our friends, from classmates, from our professors, and as of this time, we have 583 participants, and we are really happy to see that, because I think the last time that we had more than 500 participants was last month, and hopefully we will reach our highest number of participants, which was 800. So I would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude on behalf of the PSME DMMMSU Student Unit to our dear speaker, Engineer Jubel Malaygay, for being our speaker for the third time. Yeah, for the third time. So thank you so much, sir, for your utmost support to our organization. And I would also like to thank our partner organizations for this event has become more meaningful and exciting with you. To all our participants, we thank you for your presence today. And of course, I would also like to commend my fellow PSME DMMMSU MLUC Student Unit officers and also our hardworking volunteers for their hard work in making this event possible. So let us prepare our hearts and ears as we listen to our dear speaker, and may we have a great time ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Press, for that wonderful speech. And very powerful. Kuya Nazir talaga. So let me introduce myself. Let me introduce our speaker for today's webinar. Okay, technical. So once again, let me introduce our speaker for today. He graduated from the Pangasinan State University with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. He is also the owner and OSH consultant of the BESO Safety Training and Consultancy Services, which is a DOLE accredited safety training organization. He also has received the following awards and recognition: the top 15 national in the 9th Dolegawa Kaligtasan and Kalusugan in the year 2014, the Achiever in Construction Excellence in the Makati Development Corporation in the year 2015, and lastly, the Outstanding Safety Practitioner of the Safety Organization in the Philippines Incorporated in the year 2017. And lastly, he has 13 years of actual OSH experience in the field of engineering and construction, building operation, shipbuilding, mixed use, and site development. And now let's welcome the DOLE accredited occupational safety and health consultant, Engineer Jobel B. Malaygay.
Recording in progress.
Hi everyone, good afternoon, and thank you Sir Joel for the introduction, and good afternoon everyone. So before I begin, and I will check also how is my audio, and I am loud and clear, so please advise. And I hope that you are safe wherever you are today, and I hope that this training will give you additional insights of what occupational safety and health is in the general industry. So as we have mentioned earlier, so your topic is about the comprehensive occupational safety and health training. So let me share my screen. Thank you. All right, so we will discuss the 19 elements of the safety program for the general industry. Good afternoon, everyone. And all right, so during the discussion, you can chat your questions in the chat box, and we will answer them after the training. So thank you so much, everyone. Responses to OSHA issues and concerns. If you have already taken the Bosch training, this is also being discussed in the syllabus, and if you have taken your Bosch training with us, with BESO, and this is a review to you, and why we need to discuss also this other than the function of safety. The OSH program is also a supervisory responsibility, or one of our responsibilities, and as a future engineers who will handle people in the workplace, and what are the needs of an OSH program in your application to LGU or to the local government units. The safety program was being asked, or one of the attachment when we acquire permits. Like for example, we have a generator delivery, we have a boiler, and so we need to apply a permit to operate or the PTO. And sometimes, or most LGUs nowadays are asking for the safety program, and it is not only a safety responsibility but also your responsibility as a future engineer in the workplace. Right. So let me first introduce what is the objective, what are our objectives for this topic, and we will discuss the 19 elements of the safety and health program. So this is different from construction safety program because what is unique to the construction industry is that before they can allow or start the day one of their construction activity, they need to acquire first a safety program, an approved safety program from DOLE. But for the general industry, we do not need to acquire an approved safety program. And once that our DOLE has accepted this safety program that you have created, and that is good as approved. But again, we have requirements. Every time we have a new process, we have new guidelines or facilities, materials, or workplace, we need to update our program and we need to resubmit the updated or revised safety program to the DOLE having jurisdiction. So like for example, if the DOLE field office is nearer to your location, so you can submit to this office and not to the regional office. And so we have satellite offices of DOLE, and what you need to know to do is to ask for assistance from safety officers because they are the one who are reporting regularly to DOLE because we are required quarterly, monthly, and yearly. We have a submittal. So all of those will be discussed here also. And let's take a look of what is the introduction to the OSH program. So OSH means Occupational Safety and Health. We look or we study and we develop controls. What are the appropriate controls that needs to be implemented in every workplaces for the purpose of protecting our employees or all of our workers against death, incurring injury, illness, and health, and that is the occupational safety, and that is safety and health in the workplace. So OSH is a multidisciplinary. This is a multidisciplinary area in which we need to check the mentally, physically, spiritually, and the emotional aspect of an individual. So let's take a look. What are the contents? Responses to OSH issues and concerns. This is a series, and actually this is a last part of a series of responses to OSH issues and concerns. The first one is we have the emergency preparedness and response plan in the workplace. The other one is we have the employees compensation program. What are the benefits of an employee who have incurred illness, injury in the workplace, or what are the benefits of the declared beneficiaries of this person or worker who have died in the workplace. And we have the OSH legislations, of course, the Department Order 198-18 that we have previously discussed in our second series in safety and health, right? And the last one is the OSH program. So we will develop the safety program that are tailor-fitted to your industry. But here we will discuss the 19 elements for high-risk, medium to high-risk establishment. And even though that your establishments are classified as low risk, but you have a 51 or more employees, you need to follow or use this comprehensive template, the 19 elements. Because for the general industry, we have two types of safety program. We have the 16 elements and the 19 elements. So we will discuss here the 19 elements. So first, Developing an OSH program builds a framework to manage health and safety. This safety and health program will determine what are the plans, what are the procedures, or what are the guidelines that your company or project will be going to implement once you have started your activity. And from prior to the start of your activity up to the last stage of your operations, all safety controls or interventions will be discussed here, or you will refer from this safety program. And this development of a NOSH program is not only for the purpose of compliance to the DOLE, because for non-submission or for not preparing an OSH program, there is a corresponding penalty based on our Department Order 198-18. So with this written OSH program, you create an action plan. What are you going to do for this specific type of an activity, and for how safety responsibilities, not only for the safety officer, but for all levels or designation in the organization. All of us are responsible for our own safety and for the safety of everyone in the workplace. So we are accountable, and not only for the safety. And being the supervisor, we have the responsibility as well in view of safety and health. And as we have discussed in our first series, the role of engineers, right, in the field of safety. So we have discussed that safety responsibilities: identify and control hazards. It cannot be called hazard when there are no controls, right? And if there are no risks. And even though that we have implemented a control, still, as long as you are working or using an equipment, a tool, or as long as you are using a material that are considered as hazardous, still there is the possibility of this risk to occur. And train workers in safe work practices. This program will give us a guide what are the appropriate or applicable trainings or topics that our workers need to undergo before they will allow to start their work. And every day, you being the supervisor, you are required to perform or conduct a toolbox meeting to your workers. It is in this activity that you will give them the proper job instruction, what are the safety and health risks to this specific activity, and what are the appropriate controls. And even the emergency preparedness protocols are being discussed in this meeting. So no matter how small your business is or your work, the work you do, you must provide and maintain a safe workplace, because it states that in our legislation, all establishment shall prepare or establish a safety program that are tailor-fitted to the needs of the respective industry. So this guide provides the tools to manage OSH, occupational safety and health, and protect yourself, your workers, and your workplace. Not even our employees, but also our visitors and our community. So let's we will see later on in this template the applicable protections, especially but not also for only for our employees, but also for the community as well, for the public. So objectives working on this topic should help you to identify the elements of the DOLE prescribed program before DOLE has not published or required us to use a template, but they have a checklist. But with the issuance or the uh, with the new law or legislation, the Republic Act 11058 in the field of safety, the DOLE has formulated a template, and we will discuss that. This template explain the roles, commitment, and participation of various levels of the organization implementing the OSH program. Here in the new legislation, you cannot see there that the main responsibility for the development of this OSH program is the safety officer. It does not mention the safety officer. It only mentions here a representative, and not necessarily that this is the safety officer. You could be that representative, and because there are instances, especially for the low or medium risk establishment, the safety function or responsibility are an added duties or responsibilities of a staff or the employer. And review how to fill out reportorial requirements correctly. Here we will mention the reportorial or the WARMA, the work accident incident report. We have the annual exposure data report, the report on safety organization, and minutes of the meeting of the health and safety committee, and the annual medical report or the EMR, or that is the OH47A of the OSCE standard. We will discuss, and as we reach that part, so there is a corresponding QR code so that you can immediately download that form. But do not worry, I will give this template, this manual or module and the DOLE template to our organizers later on. So content, components of an OSH program, safety and health policy, responsive, current, and tailor-fitted to your needs or to your industry, and risk classification of your establishment. Activities in other examples of OSH interventions. Here we have 6 interventions on health. We have the drug-free workplace policy in the workplace. We have the healthy lifestyle policy. We have the HIV/AIDS prevention and policy in the workplace, tuberculosis policy and prevention in the workplace, the hepatitis B prevention and policy in the workplace, and the mental health policy. This is a new intervention. So filling up of DOLE reportorial requirements and forms. So we will discuss that also. Introduction to Safety and Health Program. And so DOLE Department Order 198-18 refers the safety program to a set of detailed rules govern company policies, processes, and procedures in all economic activities. So meaning from the day one of your activity or of your project up to the commissioning stage, there should be an equivalent safety controls or safety assessments. And there should be a policy, there should be a guidelines for every activities that we are going to do or execute in your organization, and including the personal responsible. All of us are responsible to our own safety and to the safety of our co-workers, and the penalties for any violation thereof. For the penalties, this is for the non-compliances, but here in view of safety and health, that has a corresponding disciplinary disciplinary action. So before we start developing your own OSH program, following are the important provisions specified in the DOLE Department Order Number 198-18, Section 12, Occupational Safety and Health Program that you need to know. First, the DOLE shall prescribe a format. We will discuss that, the 19 elements that should be accomplished by the employer, contractor, or subcontractor. If you have an agency, if you have a subcontractor, they are required to submit a safety program to you, being the main contractor or the client. And as we have mentioned earlier, we do not need to seek approval from DOLE, but we need to submit the accomplished safety program to DOLE. And this is only for the general industry. And so the non-requirement of DOLE approved. So in any consultation with the workers and their representative, so that meaning all are tasked are to perform or prepare. All has the responsibility to conduct or to join in the formulation of the safety program. So the OSH program shall be communicated and be made readily available. So you need to ensure that the safety program are available at all times. When someone or somebody from your organization wanted to request it for readings, to have a look of your safety program, but we need to control. We need to establish a request or requisition form on how to acquire this document, because this is the heart of safety and health, and there's a possibility that if we cannot monitor who are borrowing this document, it could be lost. That is why we turn over this document to the document controller custodian, or the DCC. And it shall be updated periodically if there are new work, or newly introduced chemicals, equipment, tools, there are new processes, new regulations. We need to review our program, our document, and update as necessary. And if we have made changes on this document, it should be re-echoed, or it should reach the concerned personnel or group of these changes made in the document. Another, so the establishment shall ensure, or your company shall ensure, the core elements of OSH programs are integrated in the company OSH program, in your own program. Here, we are allowed to use our own safety template, safety program template. But the DOLE has clearly stated here that you need to incorporate the 19 elements to your template. But I am encouraging you to use this DOLE prescribed template so that we cannot made an omission, or to ensure that all of these elements are included in the program. And moving forward, the establishment shall submit a copy of the OSH program to the DOLE regional, provincial, field, or satellite office, whichever is nearer to your workplace. Having jurisdiction, like for example, if your area are nearer to the provincial office of DOLE, so you can submit your program to the provincial office. And a duly signed company commitment to comply OSH requirements. So this is the element number 1, the company commitment to comply with, in OSH requirements. Together with the company OSH program, using the prescribed template. Here, the template that we are going to discuss here or this afternoon. So it also states that here that for the construction safety and health program, so this is the program for the construction industry. It shall need approval by DOLE prior to day 1 of the construction. But for the general industry, DOLE, this is good as approved. When that there is a new process or changes to your organization, we need to review as well the safety program. And OSH programs in the pre-approved template by DOLE may be modified by DOLE as well. That is why we need to dedicate a person who will monitor this template and this document. If there's a modification made by the company from the DOLE template, the company shall submit a revised copy of the OSH program to DOLE. The company shall review and evaluate the OSH program at least once a year as necessary, or every time that there is an accident occurred in your workplace, there are major findings from your inspection or audit, we need to check or review as well our safety program. Okay? And the company shall review and evaluate and to ensure that its objectives are met towards an improved safety and health performance. There are instances that your safety program could be only for a single duration or for a single activity. There's a possibility, especially that you are a subcontractor for this special trade and your services was hired or by the contractors. There are instances that still we need to submit the safety program to our client. It is encouraged that the process owner or the employer or the contractor who directly executes the activity will prepare the safety program so that we can tailor fitted and we can check the content of the safety program in aligned in reference to the methodology, method statement, or the work methodology coming from your operations or from the employer. Okay, so let's take a look the 19 elements of the OSH program. Here, one is the company commitment. Previously, the DOLE has not issued a template for the OSH commitment. So its establishment will prepare their own OSH commitment to comply with the OSH requirements. But here, that is the element number 1. So we have already a template for that. Number 2, general safety and health programs, safety and health hazard identification, risk assessment, and that is the HIRAC. HIRAC are being discussed, comprehensively discussed in your Bosch training, Bosch SO2. And if you have taken that with us, you are familiar already with this HIRAC and to any other training organizations because we are following the DOLE prescribed template. Medical surveillance for early detection and management of occupational and work-related diseases. here, you will be required to determine the frequency or your schedule when your annual physical exam was being done. And here also, you will be asked for your accredited hospital or clinic or laboratory. And first aid and emergency medical services, promotion of drug-free workplace, mental health services in the workplace, healthy lifestyle. Those are our first three interventions, OSH interventions. And element 4.0, prevention and control of HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, and hepatitis B, and in the workplace. We have already discussed this in Bosch. We have a dedicated topic for this that is under medical surveillance. A complete company or project details, that is the element number 5. Number 6, composition and duties of the Occupational Safety and Health Committee. We need to regularly update this part, because there's a possibility that we have added a new supervisor or our supervisor who are part of, or any individual who are part of the committee are no longer in our organization, so we need to update, and even the designation, and even the number of our members. So as our activity or as your organization manpower increases, we need to see, or we need to check the members, or we need to update the members of the committee. So per the nature and area or scope of your activity. And number 7, element number 7, that is the OSH personnel and facilities. Here, you will be asked who are your safety officer, what are the trainings they have already underwent, and facilities. The facilities we will refer from the table 47 of the OSH standard, and of course the section 16 of the new law, the Department Order 198/18. So safety and health promotion, training and education. So here you will be asked what are the appropriate topics that we need to take, or that our workers need to know, and it depends on your nature of your activity. So orientation of all workers on OSH, that is the mandatory 8 hours safety and health seminar for workers. We have also the conduct of risk assessment, evaluation and control. What are the activities that we can identify hazards, we can measure, and we can control? So what are the control measures for this type of present hazards and in your activities? So as you can see here, we have a separate or continuous training, or the underline and with a different font color. And so these are not present in the simple safety program in the 16 elements, but this is needed or included in the 19 elements of a comprehensive safety program. So continuous training on OSH of OSH personnel, since the training of safety officers are lifetime, the mandatory, that is the Bosch SO2 for the general industry, Bosch SO1 for the general industry with a low risk establishment, or having an employees of 9 below, or even 50. And because the risk classification will be based on your assessment made. And we have also, since our training has an expiration, we are required to take at least 16 hours of an advanced training per year. We are required by the legislation. So work permit system. Here, examples are hot works permit, lifting permit, and the work permit itself. We have also the working in confined space, ladder checklist, scaffolding checklist, electrical tools checklist, and those are some of the checklists or permits. But the permits to be implemented or prepared are based on your on the type or nature of your activity. Number 9, conduct of toolbox meetings or safety meetings and job safety analysis. Toolbox meeting are one of the responsibilities of a supervisor and not only for the safety officer. Accident, incident, illness investigation, recording and reporting. So here we will discuss what are the requirements, what are the types of incidents that we need to report to DOLE, and even the frequency, and what are the DOLE reports that we need to accomplish for submission to DOLE on a regular basis. Even though that we do not have incur any incident in the workplace, we are required to submit a DOLE reports. You can accomplish the DOLE report and those are not applicable to you, you can just place a not applicable. And another, provision and use of personal protective equipment or the PPE. Here, you will be asked for the specific PPE that you will going to purchase, and even the amount or even the quantity will be asked. Provision of safety signage. What are the classifications or types of signage that your activity are needing and or applicable to the activities that you will be going to execute. Still, number 13, this is not included in the simplified or simple safety program. Yeah, so but it is included in the 19 elements for comprehensive. So this is for the mostly high risk establishment, and for even though that you are a low risk but you are having a 51 employees above, or even you are a medium risk industry, you are required to use these 19 elements of the program. And provision of workers' welfare facilities. Examples here are locker, accommodation, we have pantry, wash area or washroom, we have the comfort rooms, we have also water station, and so on. It depends on the nature and what are the activities that we are doing. Number 15, emergency and disaster preparedness and response plan. This is not only a requirement for under DOLE, but it is also included or being emphasized in the Republic Act 9514, and that is the Fire Code of the Philippines. And number 16, solid waste management system. Here, we are required to prepare or make a guidelines on how to properly dispose our waste and our contaminated item or material. But for the hazardous waste, we need to provide also or prepare a guideline or procedure for that. That is based on Republic Act 6969. But for the solid waste management, this is in compliance to the Ecological Solid Waste Management or the Republic Act 9003. And number 17, control and management of hazards. Here, we will talk or discuss the hierarchy of controls. Right? Even though that it was clearly states here that you refer to item number 2 for the hierarchy because controls are already included there, but we cannot omit this item number 17. That is why you can input or you can add explanation. What are the controls? What are elimination controls? Substitution, and number 18, prohibited acts and penalties for violations. This is an internal regulations, but we do not recommend to apply monetary sanctions to our workers, and just apply disciplinary action. Right? So for the penalties, it will be charged to the employer and not to the employee. Okay, so remember that. And it will be charged to the subcontractor and not to the employee. Okay, so 19, cost of implementing company-wide program, and you will be asked your yearly budget or costing for the safety department or for the safety implementation, whatever it is. So as you can see here, applicable for medium to high-risk establishments with 10 to 50 workers, and low to high-risk establishment with 51 or with 51 workers and above. So that is the introduction of our topic. All right. So okay, so let's continue, and we will now discuss the 19 elements of our safety program. But do not worry, we will give you a break later on as we reach the middle of the discussion, right? Let's proceed with the discussion of each element. Right? And so number 1, commitment to comply with OSH requirements. Here, you can change this, or you can just type your company name. So like for example, I will place my company name here, and I will change this now, company A, like for example. And actually, Beso, even though that we are only a 2 employees, we have also a safety program. So I will place it here, a company. So company A. Company A do hereby commit to comply with the requirements of the Republic Act 11058 and all. So you need to read all that is stated in the guidelines, because sometimes there are statements that are not applicable to you, and it seems that it is hard to apply. You need to omit that, and you can omit that, right? And another here, so that is only the part that you are going to type here or change, and just input the name of the AMO or the authorized managing officer, or the owner, the president of this or of the organization, or the highest level or position in your area. That is acceptable. So, and place here the date where this document was signed by the signatory, by the company president or the owner, right? So that is only for the element number 1. So, okay, so element number 2, and general safety and health program. This is possible that you will take longer accomplishing this part, the safety, the 2.0 general safety and health program, because this is the hierarchy. But as you can see here, this is the template is different from what we have discussed or from what you have learned from the Bosch training, but you can insert that hierarchy. This is a basic template made by Dole, and for easy understanding of lower-risk establishment, right? So hazard identification, risk assessment, and control. So kindly accomplish and use additional pages since we are tailor-fitting the safety program. So we need to remove this already, right? Once you have accomplished this template. Let's take a look the content of the template. So risk assessment matrix, task, the activity that we are going to do, and each task, there are numerous hazards, like for example, and for the safety hazard, and we have also for the health hazards. For the task, like for example, we have a painting of walls, and the hazard, safety hazard there is the worker may be exposed directly, the worker's skin may be directly exposed to the chemical being used. There's a possibility of burn injury, and that is safety. And for the health hazard, the worker may directly inhale the mist produced during the painting activity, and that is a health hazards or health concern. So risk description, the risk description are the result of safety hazards and health hazards. These are the injuries. And here for the priority, just place it medium, low, or high. And here the template did not use a matrix, the likelihood and severity matrix. But as I have said earlier, you can use the Dolly template that we have used in your training, in your Bosch SO2 training. And control measures, we need to follow the hierarchy of controls. These are the elimination. So for the elimination, think of a different process, or think of the procedure or the methodology of that activity, and check if there are steps that we can remove, but still we can make the output of the activity. And that is the elimination. Substitution, we can substitute materials from highly hazardous to less hazardous. Also, we can substitute materials or tools. Like for example, instead of oil-based chemical, we use water-based. Instead of using electrically operated tools, we use a battery-operated. And those are examples of substitution. And of course, engineering, we introduce scaffoldings or platform. We observed a lot of procedure, machine guardings. We have also temporary staging or structure, that is a provision of ladders and scaffoldings. In the event that the area of activity are poorly illuminated, we provide proper lighting, and the area has a high concentration of airborne contaminants. We provide ventilation system, and those are some of the engineering controls. And another control next to the engineering control are the administrative controls. Here, we perform orientation of our workers, we perform site inspection. The vaccine are administrative. We post or we provide signage, we place caution tape or danger tape, and we give disciplinary action, we conduct drills. Those are some of the administrative control. And of course, the last resort or last line of defense is the PPE or the personal protective equipment. So let's take a look at the example given by this template, by the DOLE template. Actually, you can see this example. You can see this also at the COSH website, the Canadian Center for Occupational Health. So that this website is one of our references as well. And even the DOLE, they have used that. Example of risk assessment, the task, delivering product to customers, and the hazards of working alone or driving work alone. So drivers have to occasionally work long hours, and with this assessment, you can make a guidelines, right, or policy to eliminate the long work hours of that individual. And drivers are often in very congested traffic. Of course, they're exposed to public, and drivers have to leave boxes when delivering products. So this is manual handling or ergonomic concerns. The risk for hazard one may be unable to call for help if needed. And for the hazard number 2, fatigue, short rest time between shift. For number 3 hazard, increased chance of collision because the workplace are crowded or congested, and you're exposed to the public as well. So longer working hours. And for the last hazard, injury to back from lifting, reaching or carrying, or etc. So this concerns the ergonomics. The priority will depend on the identified risk. Like for example, if the risk will result to death, or fatality, and permanent disability, permanent partial, and the priority is high because this is a high risk, right? And for the medium, there's a possibility that when an incident or an accident, the injury could be fracture, simple or cuts, laceration. And for the low, the chances for the risk to occur is very low. But when it happens, that type of injury could be resulted to first aid only, right? Or the risks are acceptable. And controls, audit for helper, policy on break, work time, and road safety program, work breaks, given proper orientation, and on lifting. Those are some of the examples. Here for the medical surveillance, the company will require all employees to undergo a baseline or initial medical health examination prior to assigning to a potentially hazardous activity. The examination will include but not the following. So here we will not remove this because this is good statements. Instead of italize, we bring it back to normal. Right. So these are some of the examples of the medical surveillance or the type of the test that an employee should have taken prior to entering the workplace and as scheduled in the annual physical exam. Those are some of the requirements. And if there are an exposure to a certain chemical or facility, or the opinion to take this type of test or exam will be based on the judgment or assessment of a physician, and of course by the industrial hygienist who perform or conducts the work environment measurement of your workplace. Or for the routine, we have the complete blood count, chest x-ray, urine analysis, stool exam, and that is the fecalysis. And special blood chem ECG for 40 years old and above, and others. It depends. The requirements for special exam Depends on your medical history, possible, depends on the nature of your work that you are doing in the workplace, depends on the chemicals that you handled, on the equipment or facility that you have operated or used, and that is based on the assessment of a team who perform the hierarch process. Letter C, schedule of annual medical examination. It could be scheduled on the last quarter of the year or the third quarter. So that is a consensus, and it will depend. Of course, it will depend on the budget. So when will be the budget are available? If it has a additional consideration. Schedule of annual medical exam and random drug testing conducted. So it's yes, right? So, and sometimes it was already included in the annual medical exam other than the pre-employment medical exam. That is for the item or element under medical surveillance. For the first aid, 2.3, first aid and emergency medical services. And we will answer here how many treatment room or first aid rooms are existing in your company. So this is also refers to the first aid station. And this is other than clinic because as you can see here, we have a different item for the clinics. Here, the first aid room or treatment room, we call it a first aid station. So, yeah, it depends on the nature, on the size of your organization. How many clinics in the workplace? Normally, we have 2, right? And what hospitals are you affiliated in? Your accredited hospital. Okay? Yes. For the item number 3, promotion of drug-free workplace, mental health services in the workplace, and healthy lifestyle. So as I mentioned earlier, that we do not have a template for the healthy lifestyle, but you can look a template which are applicable to you from website. Here, kindly accomplish the policy template in Annex A. So we can remove this statement, and so you can download the link, or you can click the link so you can see the template for the drug-free workplace in compliance with Republic Act 9165 and the Department Order 53-03. For the mental health as well, so you can download the template here, and healthy lifestyle, you can also download that. And because we are using this, but sometimes we are having a face-to-face training, so we put additional reference, so our participants can download this template. So you can scan the QR code to download the drug-free workplace and mental health policy template. So this code are not has no expiration. So item number 4, prevention and control of HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and hepatitis B. Also here, we will remove this that can be accomplished, the policy template, because we have a DOLE prescribed template for these 5 interventions, and you can download it at the BWC or DOLE website, but as I mentioned earlier, we will send the link so you can directly download these forms. And so first, we have a policy for the HIV/AIDS, and then we have the tuberculosis and hepatitis prevention and control in the workplace. Here, so it's either of the 2 links will direct you to the form, but the form that has already been uploaded in their website is already in Word. So sometimes we can only download the PDF, but if you check the link, or if you have click the link, you can see the PDF and the MS Word format. So for the tuberculosis policy in compliance to Executive Order 187-03, so most of our legislation, so you can see that the dash, so meaning these are the year when this memorandum order or guidelines or law was took effect or established or released. And we have also the hepatitis B in compliance to DOLE 05 DOLE Advisory 05-10. So it's either of the links you can will direct you to the form, and you can scan the QR code and to download the 3 templates. So it is where the MS Word template was located. All right, so for the number 5, this could be your company profile or project detail. But I suggest that do not make this as your first page, because you will extract this from this template. So you can prepare a cover page so that this will not be moved to the front page. Okay, so this shall be the first page or the company. So we place it here, company A, right? So complete company profile, project details. You can get all this information from the company profile, of course, and you can ask your colleagues, ask the operations, and to know the nature of our industry. If you are the one who are tasked to accomplish this template. That is why it is not only the work or responsibility of the safety. We are also required, being the supervisor, to help in the establishment or preparation of the safety program. So company A, name, data established or registered, date of your complete address that was seen in the registration, phone or fax numbers, website, if applicable, email address, name of company owner, president or manager, total number of employees, because the number of employees will be